Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode 7, Left Behind. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, like I said, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you're feeling lucky or you feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you've not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give you enough time to hit pause, whatever you need to do. All right. So yeah, this I have to laugh, quite honestly, is that a lot of the homophobes out there that are watching this show that didn't realize that the video game had this kind of content in it are having their minds fucking blown now at this point, which is honestly pretty fucking funny. Um, so all I have to just say to them is, you can go fuck yourselves. This is actually a really good show, and if you can't deal with, you know, a love story here and there between two people, then you know there's plenty of other stuff to go and watch. Like you have a whole, another series that was called Left Behind that deals with your Judeo-Christian bullshit. So that's enough. I'm off the soapbox now, and back to the episode here. Um, so we leave off where Joel, last episode, Joel was stabbed and is bleeding to death, and Ellie, ends up taking him to this house, this abandoned house, and she has him in the basement. He's bleeding to death, and he just basically tells her, "Go, leave, go back north, go back to Tommy, and leave him," basically. And you see her, she climbs up the stairs of the basement and she gets to the door. And I guess this happens in the game is you have flashbacks to things that are happening. I have not played the game, so I don't know how the gameplay is on this. But we get a flashback to Ellie being back in Fedra when she was a recruit for the military there. She was out in Boston, and she was in military school. She was an orphan and, of course, was being trained by the military. So we see what her life was like there. And then also, she had a best friend who took off, and she'd been gone for 3 weeks. Ellie pretty much thought she was dead. And she comes back in the middle of the night, and it's Riley, is her name. And Riley says, "Hey, I want to show you something. Come with me. It's something really cool." And also, Riley has joined the Fireflies too. So she's been gone for 3 weeks and has joined the Fireflies. And we found out that Marlene is the one who found her and has recruited her. So Marlene, of course, who we met in the first episode, and we've heard scatterings here and there throughout the episodes, but now she's kind of back in a presence in this episode as well with Riley. And Riley ends up taking, Ellie over to the mall that had been closed off because, of course, it was swarming with infected. Um, but Fedra has turned back on the power into that grid area, which is actually turned on the mall lights as well. And Riley wants to show Ellie, this land, I guess you could say, of the before time, before all this stuff happened. You got to remember, these kids grew up not knowing of all this stuff, the mall, video games, uh, you know, Ferris or merry-go-rounds, all this kind of stuff. So this is all foreign shit to them. Yes, they might have read about it in old magazines that they found, old books, Ellie, we see, has like Mortal Kombat 2 posters on her wall. She doesn't know what this game is. She's never played it. She's read about it, uh, but she's never seen it firsthand because, of course, that's not the world that she has grown up in. And so Riley is showing her this, as she calls it, the four wonders of the mall. Actually, the fifth wonder, because the escalator really captivates Ellie as well. And we see this Ellie actually has a crush on Riley. And as we're going through the mall here, and Riley is showing her these things, we see that Riley also has, a crush on Ellie as well. It's playing back and forth here. Um, we see that Riley has actually been living at the mall, and actually she's been stationed there by the Fireflies, and she has been building bombs for Fireflies as well to bomb Fedra. And this pisses off Ellie pretty much. And Ellie's like, "Why'd you bring me here?" And Riley tells her this is her last night. She's going to be transferred to another state, and this will probably be her last time she'll see Ellie ever, and just wanted to say goodbye. And so Ellie decides to leave, and uh, she hears screaming, of course, and comes back and finds Riley in a Halloween store. And it's actually, the screaming is one of the animatronic skeletons or whatnot, which kind of fakes us out because we did see that there was an infected person in the area in the mall, just kind of hanging out attached to a wall there for a second. And so we're just waiting for this. This is what this show does to us. It builds up these characters, it builds up these relationships, and then guts us. I mean, it just fucking guts us. It always does this, and we're waiting for the gutting to happen. And sure enough, um, they make up there, and Ellie ends up kissing Riley, and she apologizes for it, and Riley says, "Why? Well, what about? What are you apologizing for?" So obviously there is a reciprocation there, and Ellie tells her not to go, and she says, "Okay, I'm not going to go." And just as that happens, they hear a sound in the back, because that's what this show does. And out comes the infected, and Riley has a gun, of course, and tells her to run, shoots at the infected, but of course this isn't working. And long story short, Ellie does end up killing the infected with a knife, her little knife. But that's where we see her get her first bite, which is on her arm. And of course, Riley is also bit on her hand. So they're both infected at this point, and it's pretty fucked up. And they both have a different reaction to this. Ellie gets pissed off and just starts smashing shit. Riley, who has experienced loss. She knew who her parents were. She saw her parents die, and Riley has experienced that loss before, and kind of goes inward a bit, and um, kind of tells Ellie, it's not, sure, we could take the option of killing ourselves right now, or we can just make do with the time that we have left, kind of thing. And talks Ellie out, of course, suicide at this point. And that is kind of where we leave off on the flashback. And we see Ellie come to, as she's still gripping the doorknob there. She goes running through the house. She just starts looking for shit. She's ripping stuff apart. She's looking for stuff. She finds a needle and thread, goes back down to Joel and starts stitching him up. Um, which is a brutal scene in and of itself. I mean, her stitching him up, but this is, she is not going to leave him behind at this point. Of course, we don't know exactly how things ended with her and Riley, because we know that Marlene actually ended up, uh, grabbing Ellie here, but we don't know exactly the story. If did Riley turn? Did Ellie have to shoot her? Did Marlene shoot her? Did the Fireflies kill her? We don't know where we're at with that portion of it. So maybe we're going to see more of this story later on. But for right now, Joel is being stitched up, and looks like they're going to be there for a little while he gets better, or at least rides through his injury. So good episode, and like I said, it's these little things, like you're getting these um you know, relationships that are happening, and in the midst of all this desolation, and there's some hopefulness within the hopelessness, and that is what this show kind of excels at. And again, these showrunners know what they're doing. They are really good at what they're doing, and I highly suggest you watch the end of the credits. At the end of the credits, of course, it gives you the trailer for next week's episode, which we see, of course, Ellie, trying to get food, and then runs into some other people, and these other people aren't so nice. So we'll see what happens there. And then after that, they actually kind of delve into the episode a little bit about, all the motivations of the actors and all this, of the characters and all of that. And they do a good job of explaining some of the stuff there. Um, and they really don't need to explain. I mean, you get that out of the episode, but it's nice to see a little bit of the backstory, if you will, a little further backstory in the episode in and of itself. There. Penn says it was a really good episode in spite of the gutting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you, Penn. It's a really good episode. This whole series is really good. We have 2 more episodes left, by the way. So this is episode 7. We have 8 and 9 left here. So we've got 2 more weeks of this. And of course, they're going to get us some more on some of this stuff. So we'll see what happens here. Um, and we know that next week's episode is called "When We Are in Need," is what that's called, but we don't know what the last episode is going to be called. So good stuff happening here. Um, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow I'm going to do another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be the Amazon Prime series, The Consultant, with Christoph Waltz. So I'm going to be covering that. And you're going to say, well, Dennis, is that really genre? Actually, it is. I can't really spoil it for you, but I will in the review of it. So I'm going to do a non-spoiler version of it, and I'm going to do a spoiler version of it. So it's going to be there tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be the return of The Mandalorian. That's right. Season 3, episode 1 of The Mandalorian is on Wednesday. That means I'm going to be moving The Bad Batch over to Thursday. So Thursday is going to be The Bad Batch, even though it airs on Wednesdays. But honestly, a lot of people, myself included, are I don't know, man. The showrunner for it, Jennifer Corbett, tweeted something out about to be excited for this week's episode, and I'm like, okay, you know. So far, it hasn't been great, except for episode 3, the one with crosshairs. That was the only thing that was actually good out of this entire thing. So we'll see what happens. Friday, I'm going to be off. I think I'm just going to be off throughout the weekend, tell you the truth. I don't think I'm going to be bringing back Saturday morning blast off at the moment, just because I need a little rest on the weekends, quite honestly, to uh, take stock of things and clean too. I mean, I'm looking around right now and I just need to do some cleaning too. So um, that's what's going to happen there. And then we're going to roll back around to Monday to another episode of The Last of Us, the penultimate episode of The Last of Us. So, with that said, thank you to everybody. Well, Penn, that joined me today in the chat. There's another lurker out there, I see. There's a couple lurkers here and there. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Yes, I know I'm a little bit late, and that's because of work. I mean, honestly, work, the dog, all that kind of stuff. When I get home, it's a whirlwind of things to do. But I'm close as enough as I can be on the time there. So, oh, and by the way, I don't know if you noticed, there's a little Grogu that's hanging right there. Yeah. Yeah, he might be a giveaway for the Mandalorian there. And so might that as well. So yeah, there's a few things to be looking forward to for the Mandalorian there. So thank you to everybody who joined me tonight. I will see you guys again tomorrow for Is It Worth My Time? The Consultant. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up having a flashback as you reach for the doorknob, and it's going to take a little while to get through that flashback, but it's worth it. And it's good stuff. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care. Wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. It doesn't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks. Have a good rest of your night. Take care, everyone. Good night.